Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and we got two of these little mini arcade things in through the Amazon Vine program the other day, so I thought I would review them together. There's often not a lot of depth to these, so we're going to take a look at the Micro Arcade, which has Centipede and Missile Command on this little handheld here. I think it might actually have Pong inside also. We'll take a look when we boot it up. And then we also have the Tiny Arcade Pole Position, which has a little tiny steering wheel on here, although I'm already disappointed because the steering wheel doesn't actually turn. It just goes like left and right like a regular controller does. So we'll take a look and see how this thing is going to come together here in just a second. But I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, that both of these items came in free of charge through the Amazon Vine program. All the opinions, though, you're about to hear are my own. Nobody is paying for this review, nor has anyone reviewed or approved what you're about to see before it was uploaded. So let's get into it now. I think what we'll do is start off with the pole position, because this was one of my favorite games when I was a kid. So let's unbox it here and pull it out. Now these things are very tiny. I reviewed a few of these a little while ago, or at least unboxed a few. They are cool because they really do kind of replicate the original artwork of the arcade game. And I remember this game very well from when I was a kid. We had one at my Dairy Queen. So you've got the original artwork here, you've got the marquee up here. This doesn't light up though, so you just get the screen lighting. And then you've got the side. You've got a switch here on the back. Right now it is set to off, so we're going to turn that on real quick to get the game to load up. And as you can see, we are loading up Pole Position. I am pretty sure that this one is the arcade version. I'm going to try to get in on this screen as best I can. However, it's refreshing. It's totally messing up with my camera here, as you can see. So hopefully it looks okay to you. But it is a very tiny screen with a very tiny steering wheel. And the wheel doesn't, and I can't even show this to you, the wheel doesn't turn. It only moves left and right. So just be ready for that. You can't really steer it. But let's try it out here and see what happens. But I think this is the arcade port, because I remember that voice there, so that seems to work. So let me see if I can drive this thing without interfering with your view of it. And I guess this is the gas on the right. And you know what's funny is that, I'm just gonna lean back a little bit here so I can see it better. It actually feels controllable. I was not expecting it to control this nicely, to be honest with you, and it's not bad. It's a little bit of lag to it, but of course the original arcade version had the whatchamacallit, the real steering wheel, which was a little bit more responsive. Yeah, so it's not the easiest thing to control here, but it does appear to work. And this looks like the Namco version. If I'm not mistaken, in the U.S., I think Atari made the cabinet on behalf of Namco. Now what it doesn't seem to have here is the gear shifter. So I'm not sure what that's the brake there. Yeah. So it looks like it's going to shift automatically because the arcade one had a gear shift to go from low to high gear, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so let's get to the next stage here. And there we go. Yeah. So, you know, it could be the arcade port, or maybe it's something else. I don't know. It's hard to say. It feels very arcadey to me. But to be honest with you, this is probably the best experience I've had in one of these tiny arcade things, and it looks like it's a pretty good version of Pole Position. Sorry, I've been thinking about Paw Patrol lately. It's the best version of Pole Position I have seen on one of these little tiny devices here, and it looks fairly playable, even though you can't turn the wheel. But it does seem to have some pretty good control to it. So that is Pole Position. So let's switch this off here real quick. And next we're going to take out the little handheld here with multiple games. All right, so let's get this one out of the box. This again is the Micro Arcade. And let's take a look and see what it's all about here. So this has Missile Command built in, along with Centipede, and again, I think it's got Pong as well. So we got an instruction manual here and a charging cable. The other one works off of batteries that you can install in the back of it. I think it might be AAA batteries that it uses. We'll have to unscrew it later and see for sure. I'll put something in the video description for that. And let's take a look at it here. So it is rather small, as you can see. And hopefully it's got a charge. It's got some smudging on the screen already. Hopefully not a scratch. So it looks like the screen is very easily scratched. As you saw me kind of trying to get that smudge off with my fingernail, it scratched up the screen. This is super easy to scratch, and it is cheap at like about 20 bucks, but I don't think you want something scratching this easily even at that price. Look at this. Isn't that crazy? So I had taken my chamois cloth to it, and I was hoping that maybe there was a piece of plastic that might be on top of it, but no, this is what you get. So this thing is going to scratch up extremely easily, so be ready for that. But let's switch it on here and see what the gameplay is like. So we've got a choice of games, and like the other screen, it is not cooperating with my cameras. It looks much better in person than it does here. Not spectacular, but better than what you're seeing. We're going to go ahead and maybe start off with Centipede. And it looks like a bunch of dots on screen. And I can barely see my little bullets flying out of my guy here. Yeah, this is not a good experience. And I would expect that maybe you'd get arcade sounds like the other one, but it's more of a beeping similar to those old Tiger games that we had as kids. So yeah, I mean, you can't even see the score on here. It's really not that great. All right, so that's Centipede. Not good. Let's move on now to Missile Command. This one might work better. And I have no idea if these are arcade ports or not. I'm assuming they are not, because again, we're getting these weird beeps versus what you're used to. So I can kind of see the cursor moving on screen, so I can sort of make that out. But yeah, it's hard because these missiles move very fast, and the control pad isn't bad. I mean, it's kind of a clicky, buttony thing, but the cursor doesn't move fast enough. I remember the cursor moving much faster on my Atari, so this is also not very playable. Yeah, so not good. Yeah, it's going to be very frustrating. All right, so that's Missile Command. And you'll have to tell me if that's an arcade port or not. It's certainly not the arcade sound. And let's see what else we got here. Pong might actually work the best on this thing. So let's see how that plays. Yeah, so yeah, this is not bad. This is, I would say, of the three games, Pong is probably the best experience here. Partly because it doesn't require there to be really tiny graphics that are hard to see. And it looks like the cursor speed here is, or the paddle speed is matched a little bit closer to what the game could kind of require here. So yeah, that's playing a little bit better. But again, the sound is really aggravating. You can turn the sound off with that switch right there, so you've got that as an option. I'm not sure what the battery life is going to be on this, but you can charge it up via USB here with that included cable. So yeah, I would say that the little one here is kind of a miss. I mean, I kind of like what they're trying to do in a very small form factor. I don't like the fact that the screen scratches so easily, as you can see here, but I do like the fact that it feels pretty sturdy. So if they had a non-scratchable front to it, I think I would give it a higher rating just from the sense that it's kind of a neat little novelty that's very portable. It's a little bit thicker than a credit card, so you can see here it's not that thin, but it's got a nice metal backing to it. So it is pretty sturdy feeling, and the buttons feel okay to me. But again, the cursor speed on Missile Command is too slow. Centipede is really hard to control, and it's hard to see what you're doing. And Pong, I think, really is probably the best experience. So there you go. You can play some Pong on the go with this, and that probably will be about it. It'd be cool if people hack these things to install other games on them. Maybe there'd be some things that could be fixed or maybe better suited for the display and control scheme here, but this one is not great. So this little one costs about $20. The pole position I'm finding for less than 20 bucks, and this one surprised me because I've never liked these little arcade things before, at least the last four that I've looked at. This one's pretty fun and actually somewhat playable, and it's great having the artwork here. So I may add this to my collection behind me there. So I would suggest, if you were a fan of pole position and are looking for a fun little novelty or know somebody who was, this is actually pretty good. So I'm going to say a buy on the pole position if you know what you're getting, and a skip here on the Missile Command, Centipede, and Pong one, just given some of the playability issues that it has there, and of course the screen scratching. So that's going to do it for our look at these little mini arcades. I was actually live streaming this review as I was recording it. And if you want to catch those upcoming random live streams that I do, you can hit the notification bell and the subscribe button, and you'll be brought right in whenever I pop on and start looking at stuff like this. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching.
This channel is brought to you by the Lon.TV supporters, including gold-level supporters, the Four Guys with Quarters podcast, Chris Allegretta, Tom Albrecht, Brian Parker, and Kalyan Kumar. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to Lon.TV/support to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit Lon.TV/S.